How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another weeknight edition of Poolside Cigar Reviews with Kirk. Tonight I'm coming at you with the Partagas 1845. This is the Cigar Rights of America edition. You can see the second band on there. I'll put up a picture for you. And I'm pairing that with the Grange Stone. This is a 12-year single malt Highland Scotch. Delicious. It's a good budget Scotch. It's pairing great with my cigar. I picked this cigar for a reason, because it's a CRA cigar. And I got these when I joined the CRA, I think it was last September. So I'm a pretty new member, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some stuff that's going on with the FDA and regulations. So I'll give you a disclaimer right now. This is going to be a little bit political, and I encourage everyone who wants to, please leave me a comment. But as the nature of politics, based on opinions, everyone has different opinions and different reasons for those opinions. So all I would ask is please be respectful with your comments, whether it's regards to my comments or to any of the other commenters on this video. Just it's okay to disagree, but just be civil in your debate. So, try to keep my cigar from going out while I talk. Today in the news, we learned that the FDA is starting the process of regulating e-cigarettes. Why does this matter to the cigar smoker? I'll get into that. First, I want to give you a background on some of the things that people are trying to push through with regulation. Number one, a lot of lawmakers would like to see the FDA restrict the sale of e-cigarettes to individuals 18 and over. I'm okay with that because by our laws, we do not hold minors fully accountable for their actions. That's why we have juvenile courts. We have decided that if you're a minor, you're not fully capable of making decisions, and therefore, you're not fully responsible for your actions. If you're not fully capable of making decisions, I don't think that you need to have access to something like nicotine, which is addictive. It is a drug. I'm okay with restricting that to people who have reached the age of majority. Because, again, like I said, minors aren't held fully accountable for their actions, therefore I don't believe that they should get the full rights and privileges of everybody else who has already reached the age of majority. Number two, I think a lot of individuals and lawmakers would like to see the FDA, who already regulates tobacco, eliminate flavored tobaccos and flavored e-cigarettes. I'm very much against this. And the reason that they would like to eliminate these flavors is they claim that those flavors appeal to minors and are designed to appeal to minors to get them hooked on their products. My problem with that, whether that's true or not, hey, it very well may be. My problem with it is, if we have regulation in place to restrict the availability of nicotine and tobacco products to people who are 18 and older, why do we need that regulation? If I am an adult and I want to smoke a grape-flavored cigar or have bubblegum-flavored e-cigarettes, why should I not be allowed to have that just because it might also appeal to a minor? If it appeals to everybody but it appeals to minors as well, who cares? They're not allowed to have that product. It's restricted to them. You know, if minors start getting a taste for my single malt scotch, should we say, well, you know, there's a good possibility that a 16-year-old might like this Highland Scotch, so we probably shouldn't sell that anymore because it's alcohol and we don't want minors to start drinking. That's ridiculous. I'm an adult. This is a legal product. I should be allowed to have it. And I think one of the problems we have with the FDA doing this in pieces, and I think that regulators know this, we are and people in general are very individualistic when it comes to regulation. They say, well, I don't smoke. I don't care. Let the FDA do what they want. I think that's poor logic, because all those regulations set precedent for future regulations. So if they can limit the sale of flavored tobacco, well, why can't they, limit the sale of fruity sodas? Let's say you like grape soda, you like cherry soda. Well, those create a public health problem. We've got juvenile diabetes. Those flavors appeal to children, and we've got kids drinking liters of soda. Oh my goodness. Let's restrict the sale of those. We can't have that anymore. We can only have Coke and Pepsi. Well, my cigar's going out. But I think you see what I'm getting at. Just because it doesn't affect you directly now doesn't mean that it won't in the future. Another issue that I just saw, aside from the FDA, that I have a problem with regulation-wise, is I don't know if it was in the most recent White House budget or if it was just a general proposal, just ad hoc. I read that President Obama would like to institute universal early childhood education, basically universal federal preschool, which I'm actually in favor of. You might not be, and that's okay. That's kind of irrelevant, but just so you know, I think that's a good idea. But he would like to pay for this with a cigarette tax, like 97 cents a pack, something like that. And I haven't done the math, but let's just, for the sake of argument, assume that that math works, and if they had that tax, they could pay for this early childhood education, which I think is a good idea. Well, I don't like the way they want to pay for it. I'm not a cigarette smoker. I think cigarettes are nasty. However, early childhood education has nothing to do with cigarettes or tobacco. Why should cigarette smokers be forced to pay for early childhood education? Cigars going out. I talk too much. So, I don't have problems with, maybe a cigarette tax to help cover, cigarettes have been traditionally kind of a public health issue. And I acknowledge that. I think tobacco in general has been a public health issue. So if they want to tax cigarettes to help pay for the healthcare costs associated with smoking, in theory, I'm okay with that. If it's handled properly and fairly, I think that's okay. I don't mind paying my gasoline taxes to maintain roads because I drive a car and I like to have well-maintained roads. And I think it's fair that because I use a car and I drive and I buy gas, I think it's okay for me to pay for that. Now, if we want to have universal childhood education, why would that not just come out of the general fund? If it's a priority that we do this, I think it should come out of the general fund. It should come out of our income taxes, not out of an excise tax on tobacco. I think that's wrong. It doesn't make sense to me. But the problem is our country is a very black and white kindergarten country, and smokers or tobacco is bad, is bad. Bad tobacco, it stinks, it causes cancer, it's just bad. Tobacco's bad. So I don't care. I'm not a smoker. I don't care. Tax it as much as you want. It's bad. Where does that end? Do we start having a tax on fast food? Do we have a tax on soda? We've got, again, we got diabetes issues. Maybe we should tax those things. And then that just opens the door to all this regulation, just general lifestyle regulation. This is the land of the free. If I want to have a 2-liter soda that I drink on the way to work and smoke my cigar, that's okay. That actually goes along with another proposed regulation, or at least that people are pushing for the FDA, and that's to force these e-cigarette manufacturers to disclose what's actually in that little vial of juice that makes the vapor. And I'm okay with that. And the same thing if they want to do that with flavored cigars or cigarettes, if they have to disclose what those flavors are, what those chemicals are, I'm actually okay with that, because to me that creates an informed consumer who can then make the decision for themselves whether or not they like that product. It's the same reason I don't see a problem with forcing restaurants to put calorie counts on their meals. I don't know how effective it is, but just like a nutrition label, I think anytime you can inform a consumer better, I think it's fair. because to me it preserves the individual's right to make an informed decision. And at this point, if you're not familiar with the risks associated with tobacco, you've been living under a rock. So I would just ask everyone to just try to take a broader view with these regulatory subjects, because while they might not directly affect you, they can eventually. And kind of piggybacking on that, I assume if you're watching this video, you're a cigar smoker. And I just kind of want to talk a little bit about how to maintain that dialogue between cigar smokers, or smokers in general, and the non-smoking community. Again, we live in a kindergarten country, black and white. Cigarettes are the same as cigars. I don't believe that for one second. Cigarettes are, to call it tobacco, I think is a stretch. It might be a tobacco-based product, but there are so many chemicals and additives. It's so highly processed. To me, by the time it reaches a cigarette, it's no longer tobacco. This is tobacco. It's only tobacco. It's grown organically. Tobacco is grown organically. They do not put pesticide on tobacco. So, I think this is a more natural product. But hey, if they want to disclose that or require companies to do that, that's fine. But again, we live in a kindergarten country. Tobacco is bad. Nicotine is bad. It all causes cancer, and that can be frustrating. If you're a smoker. So, but what I would encourage you to do, if you are a smoker, try to keep in mind when you're talking to someone who's not a smoker that you are an ambassador to the cigar community. So please try to keep your conversation with non-smokers, if you're talking about regulation or just smoking in general. People are asking you why you smoke cigars. Be civil. Educate. Don't be defensive. Don't be hostile. Just let people know your opinion, because I think the logic is pretty sound and it's pretty well based in American, just general American liberty fundamentals. And I think if you can have a civil conversation on an individual basis, a rational person will tend to concede almost all the points that I've made tonight, because they don't think things through. They hit that light switch. Oh, tobacco's bad, so let's go ahead and get rid of tobacco. And it's not that simple, because where does it end? Does it extend to alcohol? Does it extend to food? What other lifestyle choices can then be dictated to us by the government? So, losing my train of thought. But anyway, join the CRA. They're a pretty good organization. I'll put a link to their website in this video. It's not expensive to join. Also, go to your B&M. Find out if there's a retail member of the CRA. And if they're not, ask them why not. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Now, I've been rambling for a while on this. So I just wanted to kind of bring those things up. Just ask you to maybe get more involved. Go to that CRA website. Maybe you don't have the resources to join. I want to say it's $35, but I don't remember. I think it might be $35 a year. They send you a couple cigars, so that's nice. I think they sent me this and maybe a Cohiba Red Dot, but which I also still have. But even if you can't get involved financially, there are a number of templates on the website that are letters or emails, whatever format you want to use. But they're basically pre-constructed letters to your legislatures explaining the importance of preserving our cigar rights. And they're really well written. So at least grab one of those, email it, print it, send it in the mail, whatever works for you. But use that if you're not comfortable with your own words. You can always use your own words. But to reach out to your lawmakers and let them know that that they need to stand up for our individual liberties. So, anyway, I've been talking for a while now. So if you stuck this out the whole time, I do appreciate it. I got a new microphone, so hopefully the sound is good. It's got a wind muff on it. I know I've had some wind noise in the last few videos, so hopefully this microphone will cut down on that. But I'm going to sit here and enjoy the rest of my cigar and the rest of this dram. And just forget about the troubles of the day, and at least be thankful that for now, I can still enjoy my cigars. So thanks a lot for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Highly encourage you to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And again, dialogue with one another, but please be civil. And, again, I do appreciate it. Click the like button on this video. I think it's important that we get this message out here, so this video in particular is very important. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button too if you haven't already, because I would love to just maybe get more of an audience, and it certainly is a boost to my ego. So click the subscribe button. I try to bring you some good cigar reviews. Got some good ones coming up this weekend. So I'll leave you with that. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Check out the CRA. If you have the means, join. If you don't, reach out to your lawmaker. So, as always, I will leave you with my key to eternal happiness. Even though I've been ranting all night, I'm still a pretty happy guy. Keep your feet in the pool, a drink in your hand, and absolutely a cigar in your mouth. Have a good one, everybody.